So Dave, you know Mick Fleetwood well. He's an old friend of yours, and you played with him in the early days. Can you take us through how that happened? How did you meet him?
I met him through Peter Bardens because Pete lived in Horbury Mews, which is in Notting Hill Gate, and Mick had just moved in after he'd been to Sherborne, I think, and he moved in with his sister and his brother-in-law, and they had an antique shop on Church Street, and that's where we all sort of got to know Mick, because he wanted to be a drummer, and it was obviously convenient because they had a garage at the bottom of these Mews houses, so he had a drum kit and made a lot of noise. And one day, obviously Pete got to know him because there was a chap who wanted to be a drummer, and Pete had this tiny bedroom with a piano, and I used to go there and watch Pete play. And Mick was there, and this is really how I met Mick. And Mick soon got very involved in the fabric of all our lives. Pete wasn't at art school then, but Mick was an incredible dresser. He was a true man of fashion, if there ever was. He used to wear his goblin boots. He was about well over 6 foot and the rest, and so goblin boots plus flares that used to be about this wide, thick hose material. Incredible dresser, in fact, and it was decided by me and Pete that he was definitely going to be a star. There was no doubt about it. And he sometimes we were together, used to go down the Central Line, Notting Hill Gate, and he used to follow us and bang the wall with his sticks. That's how keen he was. And he actually, I think he had his first moment of playing with us with Hamilton King at the terrible Kaleidoscope Club, where another drummer didn't turn up and Mick had a go. I seem to remember him playing there. Yeah, so he was getting better and better, and then after that, I'm trying to remember. Have you got something to ask?
Yeah, I think them, because Pete Bardens joined them, didn't he? For a while?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. What happened afterwards is that Pete, after the demise of a band called the Shanes, which I used to watch, which was a very exciting band, but unfortunately it didn't quite work out. They had Ed Lynch, Phil Sawyer, who replaced Stevie Winwood in Spencer Davis. And they had some good players, but it just didn't work out. The songs didn't cut it. So they broke up. Mick joined up with the Bow Street Runners and did a few gigs with them. And Pete got the big one. He joined them because the pianist had left, and they were #1 in the charts with Van Morrison. So it was all happening for Pete. He was at art school with me, but that didn't last long, because there he was, flashing around in a huge, great big black Cadillac in Notting Hill Gate, and everyone saying, "Wow, we had a pop star on our hands." So that all came to a halt, and Pete decided to form a new band, and the first member was Mick, and they'd seen me playing odd semi-pro bands that I was in, Fingernail Fire and the Booker T's and various clubs in London, Blazers and this. So they knew I was still playing, and I'd just got a job in an ad agency, the Design Group, working hard, and Pete made the call, and he said, "I've got a deal with EMI, and I'll be able to pay you," and it was a bit more than I was getting in the ad agency. So I had to do it, and thereeupon we worked really hard at a pub called the Holloway Arms, I think, in York Street, just near St Pancras Station, and we rehearsed instrumentals. Guitarist we had for a very short while, Steve Barker. For one reason it didn't work out, and so we found a new guitarist, which Pete found, Peter Green. And the deal we had with our manager, Johnny Gunnell, was they owned the Flamingo Club and the Ram Jam Club and the Bag of Nails. They were quite impresarios. And they put us in to earn our money, our keep, playing all-nighters, afternoon sessions and evening sessions at the Flamingo Club, which was a very, very cool club. Georgie Fame played there. Mick Fleetwood and me sometimes were called in to back people like if the drummer didn't turn up or the bass player didn't turn up, we had to go and back these people. Not for long. So it was incredible. The atmosphere were there with these artists coming over from America. And at that time, we had Peter Green in the band by then. And he really had to learn fast because we were doing so much work. Exhausting work, may I say. We were all very young. And it was exciting and it was hilarious playing in front of so many people in this steaming hot, sleazy, huge club in the basement. And one night when Pete was learning, Johnny Garland's great manager, bought his Hammond organ for him, and Pete was just playing furiously, and he blew up. Smoke coming out and things. And the show must go on. Mick and me had to continue with Pete playing, just the three of us, instrumentally. And we, musicians, when you're working hard and doing a part, you forget. And it was also very late. And we looked, and suddenly we heard Pete playing. And Mick and me just looked round. This is amazing. And this is where it really all began. The realisation, what a great guitarist he'd become. This was before Rod Stewart joined from Barrow. And Pete grew very, very fast within the band then. And then it turned into the Shotgun Express.
What was the name of the band that you were in at that stage?
The Peter B's.
And Peter Barden's was his band, effectively.
It was his band, oh yes. Yeah. And it was, it was his band, and we were very happy being his band. It was hilarious. It was a hilarious band.
Thank you.